Good day everyone and welcome back to Sam's Watch Review. Today I'm reviewing the Skmei 1628, the first Skmei to be featured on this channel. I will share its pros and cons to help you make an informed decision. The model is clearly not just inspired by, but more of a copy of the Casio GShock DW5600. However, since they put their own name on the product, I would say it's an homage rather than a counterfeit. And given the similarities, it makes more sense for this review to compare the two directly. So let's get started. For the dimensions, this Skmei is 49mm lug to lug, 44mm wide, 14mm thick, and weighing 42 grams. In comparison, the DW5600E is 48.9mm lug to lug, 42.8mm wide, 13.4mm thick, and weighs 53 grams. So overall they have almost the same size, with the Skmei slightly larger but more than 10 grams lighter. Regarding specifications, the Skmei 1628 has 50 meters water resistance, while the DW5600 has a far superior 200 meters water resistance. The Skmei uses a CR2025 battery, and I could not find an exact reference for its lifetime. It could be 1, 2 or 3 years. And the Casio uses a CR2016 battery, which is slightly smaller with a rated lifetime of 2 years. The Skmei 1628 case is made from resin with a rubbery bezel, resin crystal, and resin band. The GShock DW5600 has better materials with a case made from higher quality resin, a shock absorbing bezel, scratch resistant mineral glass, and a polyurethane resin band. The case and bezel design are very similar, with 4 screws holding the bezel in similar positions. The fitting looks nice and precise on both watches, but the finish on the GShock is superior. As shown here, my older GShock bezel looks better than the new Skmei. But however, I am sure that the rubbery bezel on the Skmei does provide extra shock-proof capability, although less likely to be as tough as a GShock. Now about the buttons, both watches have 2 on each side for a total of 4, but there are no recessed buttons on the Skmei. The button design on the Skmei are sticking out more, making them easier to press whether on purpose or not. And then for the button action, it's almost the same as the GShock. The button positions are also different. The light button on the Skmei is at the top left, while the adjust, called reset button, is at the bottom right, reversed from the GShock DW5600. In my opinion, with 4-button layout, the right side of the watch is more intuitive side for the light button. The backplate design also similar with the GShock, held together with 4 screws. However, the backplate on the Skmei is more bulging and the metal plate looks thinner. The strap design is also similar with a wave pattern and holes, using 16mm spring bars fitted to the case, but there are some differences. The material looks more matte and feels more flexible. It is more comfortable to wear but doesn't feel as strong as the one on the GShock. The bands stick out straight with no curve, and the most annoying part is the large gap between the strap and the case or bezel when being worn. Another difference is that the buckle on the Skmei is more generic. The front panel design also has some similarities, but Skmei put their brand on it with different frame lines and markings. One thing to note is the quality of the marking print is not the best. The digital display is copied with slightly larger digits, but the contrast is weaker and sometimes unreadable with the side light source, while the GShock is more consistent. Regarding the backlight, the DW5600 uses an EL backlight with a cool bluish green color, while the Skmei has a bright green backlight. In this case, the Skmei is a lot brighter, but the GShock looks cooler. Also, the DW5600 has a flash alert that flashes for alarms, signals, and timer. But on the Skmei, the flash alert icon is just animation. It blinks in some kind of pattern, off at 0, on at 2, off again at 7, and on again at 8. Speaking of modes, here the Skmei has an extra by having a dual time mode. So let's take a look at each mode one by one. In the timekeeping mode, both show the same information, day, month, and date on the top, and then hour, minute, and second at the bottom. Both support 12 and 24-hour formats. Both have a full auto calendar with the Skmei up to 2049 and the DW5600 up to 2099. For the alarm mode, both have multifunction alarms that you can set not only by time but also by month and date when necessary. Both also have an hourly signal. On the Skmei 1628, the next mode is dual time. You can set the hour and minute as needed, while the second will be the same as in the timekeeping mode. Also in this mode, the current time is shown in the top right box. Next, the timer mode. The range is the same, 24 hours. The setting unit is also the same with hours, minutes, and seconds. Both have auto repeat. But resetting on the Skmei uses the light button, which is a bit annoying. Anyway, I found a problem with the timer. If you press start, then pause, and then press the adjust button, purposely or not, it will become the new base for the timer length setting. For example, if I set the timer for 4 minutes, then pause it after reaching 350, and then press the button that says reset at the bottom right instead of the light button, then press the reset button again, the timer length will become 350. This is especially annoying if you accidentally press the reset button instead of the light button to reset, while the button itself says reset, not adjust. Okay, the next one is the stopwatch mode. There is a different view. The Skmei shows the hour in the box, while the DW5600 shows the current time. Also, the Skmei uses the flash alert star as animation. Both can function as usual stopwatches and also have split time. And yes, reset and split on the Skmei is using the light button, which is also annoying. The setting interface is similar but with switch button position for the light and adjust. I think the Casio feels more intuitive, making it easier to access the light button than the adjust button. On the other hand, the button to reset the timer and stopwatch on the Skmei 1628 is the light button, not the adjust or reset button. In terms of comfort, both are similar, with the Skmei strap being more flexible and the watch weighs slightly less. Now about the price. The Skmei is around $6 to $8 depending on your location, while the GShock DW5600E costs around $50 US. Okay, let's continue with the summary of the pros and cons of this Skmei model. On the positive side, it is very budget friendly, and then it offers mostly the same functions with added dual time. And then it has a very bright backlight, and it has the cool square GShock style. On the other side, here are the things to consider. Number 1, the display has less legibility, and then it uses lower material quality. And then it has less water resistance. It has no flash alert or EL backlight. It has some problem with the timer. And to reset the timer and stopwatch, you need to use the light button. So in conclusion, it's not a GShock, so let's not expect it to be as strong as a GShock. But if the choice is between a counterfeit or Skmei, I will choose the Skmei. Anyway, if you can spare up to $20 US, I would recommend checking out the W218 or W219 from Casio. And if you need the timer feature, you can check the feature-packed AE1200 that has superior 100 meters water resistance and more functions. I hope you found this review and comparison helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Sam's Watch Review for more in-depth reviews, tutorials, and budget watch related content. Thank you for watching and have a great day.